Yes, sir. Welcome everybody to the Good Neighbors Show. We are your co-hosts. I am Drizzy Dre.
I'm Lamont. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Always remember when you come into the neighborhood, you can always be you with us.
Amen. Amen. Today we want to talk about a couple things to know when and be ready for when expecting the unexpected, especially in the workforce.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, the reason why this came up was I had a fortunate event where for the last 20 something odd years I was working for probably about 60 hours plus a week. Now, to some that is unhealthy and to others that is normal. So I wanted to also talk a little bit on that, but again, what happened is I got my hours cut down. That's what happens in the corporate world when things start looking a little bit tight, and you want to start tidying up and trying to keep as much profit as possible. So things had to happen. I'm not the only one, so I'm not complaining about it, and I'm not upset. But I did not expect some of the things to encounter along this little journey that happened within the last couple of days.
Yeah.
So have you ever encountered anything like that where you had a plan for something and then the unexpected came about?
Every single day of my life.
I can understand that. That's the truth.
Every day something changes that you going into the unknown. And going into the unknown is always dangerous, but coming out of it is what makes you kind of like tougher, more resilient.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
Even though there are people that, especially now, especially during this time frame, there's a lot of hours that are being cut. There's also jobs that are being lost because some people may say that it's overspending, or they're trying to cut funding or budgeting, and
mm-hmm.
When you're used to getting something for so long and things change, of course it's going to be a WTF moment.
Yes, sir. Reactions will change.
Absolutely. And when they change, it's about, will you be prepared?
Mm-hmm.
Or were you so stagnant that when these things happen that you didn't see it coming, and it's just like, do you go into a downward spiral, or do you pick yourself back up?
Correct.
Always, in everything you do in life, you should have a backup plan, a just in case.
So shouldn't we say that is number one?
Let's go with number one.
That would be number one, having a backup plan.
Having a backup plan.
So I would definitely say having a backup plan is key for sure, because when you're accustomed to something, like you just said, for so long, you get complacent, you get lazy, and then when things change, like we just said, your reaction and your feelings, there's a lot that come into play with that.
Mm-hmm.
So especially your emotions. So when you think about having a backup plan, that reduces a lot of those emotions and a lot of mental shift, because you were mentally and sort of physically prepared for this sort of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it can reduce a lot of emotional stress if you have a backup plan. Now, what would that look like? I cannot tell you what your own personal backup plan will look like, but you just need something in a tuck at all times.
Always, because the uncertainty is constant. And life is filled with variables that are beyond our controls.
Mm-hmm.
So unexpected events that happen, you have to be prepared for them. It may seem a little outlandish. Maybe you need to probably look into starting something small to create something bigger. Maybe you need to start saving up a lot more. Maybe you do need a savings, money-wise, food-wise, ammo-wise, life-wise, because when things happen, you not prepared for it, you lose it. When people have nothing to lose, they lose it. So you have to be able to have some kind of a propriety of understanding that everything isn't always going to be the same way constantly. So you always have to keep something in the tuck. Got a nice pair of shoes, keep something in the trunk. Just in case it rain on you and you wearing a pair of
rubber duck or Crocs, and it's thunderstorming.
Something. Yeah. Always keep something in the trunk.
Make sure you have something in the truck, man. I get that on that one. So the next one I would say is start developing some mental resilience. Now that part I would attest to. Coming from a place of doubt, a lot of times, you have to fight your way out of a lot of battles mentally, emotionally, and physically. So when you expecting the unexpected, in order to, again, control your emotions, you got to have some sort of resiliency. Mm-hmm. And that's the mental. You got to have some mental resiliency going on there, because life can be unpredictable. Mm-hmm. And in order to, nobody's going to be able to predict life. No. So you just have to have the ability to stay strong and stay on pivot when these times happen and these moments happen, because there's going to be times where you're going to have to make a lot of hard life decisions. Mm-hmm. And
it comes at you fast.
Yes.
So preparedness, not predictions.
Yes. And that can lead to strokes. That can lead to anxiety. That can lead to headaches, depression, you name it. I had 2 of the 4.
And didn't even know it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just you have to have some sort of mental resiliency along the way, and start building it. Start small.
Start small, creating a flexible mind state.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Creating those being able to not let your intentions be the best of you. Mm-hmm. And basically go all out and go all whimsical and just be like, you know what? Because some people, when sometimes the hammer get dropped on them, they just go sporadic. Yeah. And then they lose it. And then once that's over with, then you back to not having nothing. And it's like, dang, maybe I shouldn't have did that. And this kind of goes back to our last episode that we did. You know what I'm saying? The whole car issue that we were talking about. Yeah. About road rage and things of that nature. Yep. So having that mental acuteness of basically trying to figure it out and be able to not let your intentions get the best of you, because for the most part, when things like this happen and things are unexpected, it's how you gonna fold. It's how you gonna fold or you gonna crumble.
Mm-hmm. Control what you can, accept what you can't.
I like that,
and that's what you pretty much just said. That's what you pretty much just said. So letting the best get to you. So control what you can. A lot of times, at work, for me especially, I got upset over the smallest things that had no control over. You know what I mean? You would think you would have control over it, but once you start addressing those problems and you see that it's out of your hands, you have to just accept that it's out of your hands.
But that's the part that you have to understand. When do you realize when it's not in your hands?
That's what having mental resilience is for.
What level do you get to realize, you know what, I need to chill out? Or maybe I can't, it's nothing that I can do. As much as you want to do something, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because some people just go and be like, man, I'm gonna figure it out.
I would say, so if it's like a pushback, so it depends on if you really, so I would say 3 times. So if it's something that you really, 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 really want, that's infinite. Keep trying and trying and trying again. And that's like succeeding for your dreams, reaching your dreams, reaching your goals. If you want to become a doctor, if you want to become a lawyer, if you want to become something in this world, yes, constant fight. That's infinite. But when there's something that's at the workforce and it's something that you do not own, it's something that you do not control, it's something that literally when it's out of your range and you're getting paid to do a job 3 times.
Yeah.
Address it once. Oh, okay. The second time, hey, I'm just letting you know it's getting a little serious. The third time, hey, we're in a bad spot. At that point, you have three dates of information, 3 dates of letting somebody know, and 3 dates of recordings.
And write them down.
Please.
Write it down. You have to write these things down to basically CYA.
Yep.
And for those that don't know what CYA is, it's covering your own ass. When you do things that are of the unexpected, or you go above and beyond, these things need to be written down. Date, time, what it is you accomplish. Because if you don't, it's just your word versus theirs. Or I'm going with somebody else's word telling them how my actions are.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get a random email basically stating why I need to explain what I do at the workforce and I got an issue with it, I know a bunch of people that actually work their tails off, but they'd love to tell you the accomplishments they had, because that will basically show, hey man, I am a value. Not only am I a valuable person to this company, my work ethic is valid. I have a valid work ethic.
I like that.
And my work ethic goes into my everyday life, because this is who I am. This is how I am to try to prosper. Now, if I'm just going along to get along, and you just see me and you walk by every day and it's just high fives and cafeteria sips and of coffee and watching and watching the view of all things on the TV or something, and then you ask me to come in the office and they're like, hey man, I always see you walking around. What do you do? And I go, well, you know, man, I'm just here making it work. I'm making it happen. All right, bro, you gone. What value do you bring? What value do you bring to the company? What value do you bring to your household?
And with that being said, that's why the next one is stay prepared with a game plan.
You better.
Because whether it's a job loss, job increase, pay increase, health issues, family emergencies, that's definitely always going to be unexpected. No matter what. I don't want to touch that. Have some sort of contingency plan, the same way a job does, the same way people in like hazard waste have contingency plans. When there's a spill, when there's an accident on a road,
what do you do?
What would you do in that amount of time? You know what I'm saying? What would you do in a split second? Have a game plan tucked right in your back pocket.
Always have one.
Because when you don't, having support and having a backup system make all the best difference. Just know that. Because when you have a game plan, you're not stuck and you don't feel stuck. You're not asking a question, what am I to do next? It allows you to stay prepared and stay ready for the next. And then once and when you have a game plan ready, when all fail, you get to be able to utilize that plan and then create another one to have a backup plan on top of that. Just don't stop there. So always remain with the game plan, and when you utilize your game plan, start creating another game plan just in case.
You better. You need to make sure you have a game plan, and don't put all your eggs in one basket as well. Don't just throw them all in there or expecting something to come out of it just because you put your all into it. It's not going to be received the same way.
And life don't stop.
I'm
you know that now. Life don't stop. You know, your game plan may only last 5 years, 1 year, 3 years, and then you're 20, you're 18, you're 45.
You don't see.
We live up to 100. So you gotta stay with a game plan, because what you live like today is not how you're gonna live when you're 70. How you want to live at 70 is not how you are living today. So you gotta stay with a plan to maintain what you want. So
but we don't see that, and because we don't see that, because we bustle around so much with a lot that's going on. Any type of way of trying to small way of bettering yourself, it's always hard to fit in. Even though it's hard to fit in, make it fit in, because you don't want to be able to be like, Dad, I work 80 hours and I don't get a chance to work out or stretch or any of that stuff. Or I ain't got time to go to the hospital because I work so much, because I'm sleeping or I'm traveling or something like that. And then when you do decide to finally go to the hospital and check up on you, they tell you all kind of nonsense you got going on with you. And then they look at you like, wow, you work that many hours? And you like, yeah. And then they look at you like, and they'll tell you the same thing. They tell you to chill, or they'll say, you need to find a way to work it in. So you have to make it.
Start drinking some water, start eating your fruits, start dieting. They're going to say, if this is what you're going to do, then you're going to have to start changing up.
They're going to tell you stuff that you already know. And it's just that they have to tell you to do it because you don't take the initiative yourself. And that goes with a lot of things we do. I know I'm a knucklehead, but until somebody tell me you're a knucklehead, maybe it sits in a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So being prepared and being able to take care of yourself, which is a major priority, is what we need to do. And also not putting your eggs in one basket and believing that what you put in there is going to be what you get out. Ask the Buffalo Bills when they just picked up these two dudes that just basically going to be sitting out six games after you done paid bread for them.
Recently?
Just recently. I done paid bread for you. Got what I got, and then I find out that you ain't gonna be able to play for 6 games. Not only that, I should have figured that out before I hired you guys.
Yeah. That's
bad decisions. Bad decisions.
But
you buy a vehicle, you better check the vehicle.
Yeah.
Man, I got this brand new 2025 Jag. Man, it's brand new, man. They gave it to me for the low. Oh, man, that's nice, man. For some reason, man, my gas tank keep going on E. I don't know why it keep going on E. Puncture hole in your gas tank.
It's brand new.
It's brand new. It's a puncture hole in the gas tank.
Yeah. It's sad, man.
It's a lot. Hey, man, some people try to use these things to get over on people to think they got a good deal, and then get smashed in the end. And then you got to fit the bill.
Yes, I've seen that before, plenty of times. I was one of those on both ends. So with that being said, the next episode we want to get into 5 more things to be prepared for. Possibly talk about adaptability, emotional stability, being self-reliant, and then also networking, because there was something that happened this week also that I realized you have to network before you need it. And so we're going to talk about those couple things also. But in the meantime, we want you to take those actionable steps that we just gave you in these examples. And if you have any relatable topics or issues within those, please just hit the comments down below. Feel free to hit us up in all of our social medias. And we thank you for tuning in today.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. And remember to expect the unexpected. Always have a game plan. Always have something that you can have something to lean on just in case of an emergency.
Control what you can and develop some mental resilience, and also have a safety net.
Bingo.
You know?
We'll talk to y'all later.
Peace out.